completely. We understand people might have been trapped in there, and also an apartment complex as well. Now, our Ginger Allen spoke with the plant owner tonight, and he told her by phone, he said, a fire started at the plant, things blew up. We don't know what happened. We know people are hurt. He said he went over there, but they made him leave because people had to get out. Now, we do know that they have ordered an evacuation of the town, and we're told that possibly toxic ammonia fumes are coming from the plant, and the winds are sending these fumes toward the southwest, I believe, or toward the north, so that they're going into South Miser plant in west. Have been leveled. And again, we've talked about critical injuries, and right now we want to go to our chief meteorologist, Larry Mowry. Larry, what have you been told?
Karen, I've been talking to some of my meteorologist friends down there in the Waco area, and they've been getting some information too. They're hearing right now that another chemical tank is on fire around the plant, and dispatch is asking crews to pull back at this time. I'm also getting word, Karen, that fire trucks are draining the city swimming pool right now to get extra water to fight the fires that are occurring across the entire town.
Right, when you're thinking about exactly the number of fires, and we've talked about the fact that this is not just the West Fire Department that is trying to handle this. They've had fire departments from all over, and there is a hospital there in West, but the hospital in Waco, which is 20 miles to the south, those folks there have been put on full alert, everyone, all hands on deck. And
Karen, the strong south winds that we've seen all day today, they're still blowing at this time down there in West. We've got gusts up to about 30 miles per hour out of the southeast right now. So that's really hampering the firefight right now, too.
Right. And we do want to welcome those folks who are just tuning in right now. You're looking at scenes. You can see the flames in the foreground there, and in the background, the remnants of flame. There has been a fertilizer plant explosion in the town of West. This is about midway between the towns of Hillsborough and Waco. Now, this isn't a big town, but there are still they've many residents, and they have all been ordered to evacuate because of the fumes, the ammonia fumes that are believable injuries, many of them critical. Firefighters were trying to put out a fire at the plant when there was a major explosion at about 10 minutes to 8 this evening. We understand many of the injured are firefighters. We don't know to what degree exactly how many injuries there are. We know that there is major damage to nearby buildings, houses, a nursing home. West, the intermediate school was on fire, and we've also been told that for obvious reasons, school has been closed in this town, or for the entire, for the rest of the week, for tomorrow and Friday. And now Brian New, CBS 11's Brian New, is joining us now by phone. Brian, what are you seeing where you are?
Karen, we are just outside West, but this explosion could be felt as far north as South Dallas and seen miles away. This video here.
That was a big explosion. It shook the whole dealership. I don't know what it was.
Fertilizer can do. It's an incendiary material, and there's a lot of damage that can be caused by this. Let's go back to Larry Mowry.
Karen, I'm getting reports out of the Hillcrest Baptist Medical Center that the injured range from babies to elderly from the explosion. Earlier this evening, the explosion occurred around 7:50. Shortly after that, all staff and everybody who works at the hospital there at Hillcrest Baptist Medical Center in Waco, they were asked to come into work, Karen. So they called in the entire staff at the hospital in Waco, expecting many injuries to come in from the explosion.
That's right. The Red Cross has been dispatched down there, and we don't want to incite any panic or anything like that, but we have been told that this is a scene of chaos right now, and there is a triage teams have been set up on the football field at the high school there in West, which is very close to the fertilizer plant. You can see it right there from our helicopter shot. And Jason Allen, I know you arrived on the scene not too long ago, and you said at first blush, I mean, it looked as if a tornado had roared through town. Jason. We seem to be having a little bit of...
Yeah, okay, I got
there
you
go.
now.
All right. Yeah, you...
I got you, Karen. This is what we were trying to show you earlier. This is what we're told is a home, and you can see right now that it is burning pretty much to the ground. This home is destroyed, and I'm going to have Sal here look over to the left, and I'm hoping that our camera can pick this up and see maybe some of the glow from the fire. You can see some of this debris here. These are other buildings that are not on fire right now, but are very obviously destroyed by the blast. I was talking to you about the fact that we may not be able to get further down the road to the south, and here's why. You can see all the way down this road, there is debris. There's a truck here that is covered in whatever this was that got blown up and destroyed just by the force of the blast. I believe the plant just over in this direction right now. There are no fire crews that we see in the area right now, no emergency crews right here, and there are very clearly people that live all up and down these roads. There are farmhouses, small houses on both sides of the road. Even several hundred yards back in this direction, I stopped and talked to a family who was inside their house when this happened. The entire roof caved in, all their windows of their home blew in, their car destroyed, looks like it's been through a huge wreck. And I'll just point you back here again. This is one of the fires that we're seeing, and although you may not be able to see from this vantage point where we are, we can see several other fires burning further to the west, also to the south, and very heavy, extreme damage, structural damage all over here to the north and even to the east. Definitely not just a swath, but wide, expansive damage in every direction, Karen.
Right, exactly. And you mentioned not seeing any firefighters, and I imagine they're spread pretty thin based upon the number of fires and the extent of the damage. Because it's not just the fires, as you mentioned, things are crushed, roofs have been blown off. We understand that people might have been trapped inside a nursing home that was positioned very close to the fertilizer plant, and there is an evacuation underway right now. They are evacuating the town, and Larry, you mentioned hearing from some meteorologists there in Waco that possibly toxic ammonia fumes were coming from this fertilizer plant, which makes sense.
Yeah, that's what I'm hearing right now, and with that southeast wind, that's blowing that possible ammonia off towards the northwest. So that would be taking it into the southwestern sections of Hill County. I don't know how bad this is or what the extent of this is, but as you mentioned, Karen, a lot of the evacuations that we've been hearing are because of this possible ammonia leak coming from the plant. So really in this area, and if you're not familiar with where West is located, it's right down I-35 south of Hillsborough and just north of Waco. It's right there on the county line in southern Hill County, and then when you cross over into McLennan County there in Waco is where West is located. The Czech stop, Karen, is one of the big features and well-known places there of West Texas.
Right, they're known for their kolaches. Everyone, it's a Czech
Everyone
community.
Stops on the way
Exactly.
down. Exactly. So this is where this fire is located right now. I've also gotten word that all Care Flight helicopters here in the DFW area are en route to West right now, Karen, to help
All
out
Care
with.
Flight.
That's what the word I got from the scanners right now.
Right.
All Care Flight helicopters are en route. And I also just got a tweet from Governor Perry. He says, we have also mobilized state resources to help local authorities. Our thoughts and prayers are with the people of West. That's a tweet from Governor Perry.
Right.
Live, this is One for the Record. I'm Diana, and today is April 18th, 2013, and here are your news updates for today. Please stay tuned, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to run some an update on the Boston explosions out there during the marathon. And I guess INFOWARS had a great question. I never even realized it, that people were told to stay calm before any explosions. You got to see this. This is a must-see. Well, moving on for right now. You should be seeing, just saw the, by Waco, Texas, there was the fertilizer plant explosion. It actually registered a 2.8 or something on the Richter scale. just so you know. That's how big the explosion was, that it ended up on the seismographs. Alrighty then, here we go. Let's first go to the Extinction Protocol 2012 and beyond. Large sinkhole swallows 3 cars in Chicago. Heads up, sinkhole in Chicago now. Like a nuclear bomb, deadly fertilizer plant blast devastates Texas town, at least 15 dead. Scientists find Yellowstone's volcano is bigger than previously thought. Heads up on that one. U.S. Colin Powell warns North Korea against using nuclear weapons. And again, Lyrid meteor shower lights up the night sky this week. Alrighty then. Moving on. Let's get rid of this one so we can move faster. Alright. We can't go to the Watchers. They're down. They're probably loading something up on their website. So, I can't get on there right now. So, excuse me, U.S. Canada. E&E News, Energy News. Emergency declared at U.S. nuclear plant after lightning strike. Venting of Unit 1 primary containment. Normal radiation levels reported. NRC mobilizes response center. Okay, so if they're not lightning proof, that's another reason why they all have to be shut down. I'm sorry. We have more reasons why to shut them down than to keep them open. It's not viable anymore. I'm sorry. That's it. We're done. Giant Louisiana sinkhole swallows more land after burp. Water continuing to move. Indication that event is not over. It's not going to be over for quite a long time. Official. Crime scene investigation at site of Texas blast. ATF bringing in explosive dogs, determining if fire was intentionally set. Also, last night on Coast to Coast, someone thought that maybe someone set the explosions in order to steal a lot of the fertilizer. How's that one? Heads up on that. That was on Coast to Coast, George Norrie last night. Alrighty then, CBS, update to 70 feared dead, hundreds injured as Texas explosion, 50-unit apartment building ripped apart like a war zone. I want to thank Lori for giving me the heads up on all this. Also, yesterday, authorities coordinated act against California Power substation and phone services. Alrighty then, let's go on to Fukushima, Japan. Let's see if there's something new there. No. Alrighty then, so let me get rid of this one. So, it is 4 days down. 1 to go before the weekend. It's the eve of Friday. Hang in there. Hang in there. And everybody, please be safe. I told you, be ready for anything. Have your go bags ready. Just be ready for anything. And if I find out something, I'll give you the information on it. I got your backs. See you on the flip side tomorrow. I might run my old thing for my public access show tomorrow. So heads up on that. Might be some music. Also, heads up. The stuff you're going to see now that I'm going to run might not be suitable for anyone under the age of 18. Alrighty then? So, please, adults only. There's going to be some adult language. I'm going to have Kevin Blanch at the end. He posted a video yesterday. Okay, so take care. And, please, be ready for anything. See you on the flip side tomorrow. We're almost there. Hang in there.
Now, let's go. Actually, we have video that Dan Bidani shot from those press conferences. You can hear the audio great. You can hear him kind of arguing with reporters. You know, the reporter's saying something, and Bidani says, "You mean false flag?" You know, trying to say, like, this is what the issue should be. Is this a false flag? And, you know, why were loudspeakers out there telling people to be calm? And
yeah, just stand right there, and the bomb's going to blow up in 10 seconds.
Exactly.
So this is a premiere of this footage, right? This is Dan's actual
I don't think anybody's seen this footage.
Yeah.
He put it on his YouTube channel on private this morning. I pulled it off, cut up a little bit. It's not the full press conference, but here it is.
Right.
Is there any security footage of any of these explosions? We are looking at all of that right now. That's one of the investigative steps that we're taking.
Was there any prior knowledge of? Because according to BostonGlobe.com, they said they were doing drills this morning for the same exact thing that happened, according to BostonGlobe.com. Now, was you guys given any warning ahead of time of this taking place?
As I said earlier, there was no specific intelligence. We certainly increase our posture around a big event like this. All of those things happened in preparation for this event, but there was no specific intelligence that anything was going to happen.
And can you talk a little bit about what type of device do you have?
The City of Boston is open and will be open tomorrow, but it will not be business as usual. There will be a heightened law enforcement presence consistent with the severity and seriousness of the ongoing investigation. People should expect those who are riding the T, that there will be random checks of backpacks and other parcels. And we just ask everyone to be patient with that inconvenience for the time being. It is for the public's safety. Here in the state, at the local level, and at the federal level, we are all coming together to do everything we can to get to the bottom of this.
The most important fact that I want to convey to everybody this evening has already been mentioned by Governor Patrick. The FBI is taking the lead in this investigation. It is asserting federal jurisdiction. It will do so through the Boston Joint Terrorism Task Force, members of which are comprised by all the members of the law enforcement agencies here represented at the podium. This will be a combined federal, state, and local effort. It will be an ongoing investigation. It is a criminal investigation that has the potential, is a potential terrorist investigation.
Do you take any questions?
Oh, sir, why were loudspeakers telling people in the audience to be calm moments before the bomb went off? Is this another false flag stage attack to take our civil liberties and put more Homeland Security sticking their hands down on the pants on the streets?
No. Next question.
You have said that there's no suspect, but is there?
I'm not going to confirm that right now. We'll have that information for you first thing in the morning. The medical people are compiling that as we speak.
Again, why were speakers telling people to be
characterizing the act of terrorism? Extent of the injuries, how serious people are.
This is a very powerful blow. Right now, that area that the governor outlined is our main point of focus right now.
Again, why were people speakers telling people to be calm before the bomb went off? I want to answer that question.
Currently in your search for additional devices, are you searching the entire route of the marathon, or are you focused on certain areas right now? Are there specific areas that you're focused on beyond the Copley area?
At this point in time, our focus of the investigation is in the area that the governor mentioned.
Why was people being told prior to the bomb going off?
Are there any unaccounted for people? If so, how would you?
We're actually working very closely with the families right now. We're setting up a location near here that families can come to if they have any questions. The mayor's office has fielded many calls of concern. We're going through those right now.
Okay, please remain unidentified.
That's it.
Why was people being told prior?
9:30 tomorrow morning.
Why was people being told prior to the bombs going off to stay calm? That's a false flag, gentlemen. Just to put more TSA on the street to rob our civil liberties.
Yes, these men and their hypnotized followers call this a new order.
I love the guy. I think he was in the far corner in the blue shirt, and he's like, yeah, cut his mic.
And then you see the lady over there come up and say, come on, we're getting out of here. We're cutting the press conference. You know, she comes from off stage and says something. The general kind of looks over there. She is right there on the left. She's like, come on, we got to get out of here. We got somebody who can see.
Yeah.
You know, let's wrap this up.
Yeah, that guy in the blue shirt, you can see right there. He's like, cut his mic. And we were playing a game of Who's the Fed? And I correctly guessed, but I had already seen this footage. But when I was watching the footage earlier, I was like, that guy looks like a Fed right there. The guy in the red tie.
Cropped hair.
Yeah.
So, you know, the only thing a dead giveaway would have been if he was bald, because the Feds nowadays, it's the
the clip earlier, the first clip with the governor, and he was just giving Badani just the stink. Yeah. Look, he'll look over here in a second.
There it is. There it is.
He's doing the people's eyebrow there, yeah.
That's almost the same look that the head of the IRS gave Aaron Dykes when he was asked a question. We were in front of where Joe Stack crashed his plane into the IRS building, and he tried to get the question in about the 20 trillion in derivatives to Tim Geithner, and Tim Geithner went, they did this kind of kiss at him, and then the head of the IRS looked over and was like, and you just see this, whoa, total hatred, and it's totally reminiscent of They Live. I've got one that can see.
They'll be calling you a radical. This is for Thomas Ackerman. First, I was kind of depressed, kind of bummed out today about a few things, but then I got home and I was thinking I really need to read this. I should have read this online a long time ago. It says everything about nuclear, everything. And I'm like, God, I really need to do it. Right as I was thinking, I got to read this now. I've got to get this up now. I should have done this a long time ago. Knock on the door. It was my mail lady. And one of you beautiful, great community that we have out there who actually had a soul and cared sent me this great, how exciting, very excited to know that her people, they understand, he understands my situation. I think a lot of you do, is when I go off on America, I go off in the aggregate. There's so many strong, powerful individuals out there, I know that. But we're just so outnumbered by ignorance and apathy and cowards. I want to read this as the truth about Fukushima. As the IAEA has used a propaganda machine on the United States, let's talk about the rest of the world. Let's talk about the reality of the countries who never went nuclear, the countries that have realized their mistake and gone anti-nuclear. They try to grandstand and posture, even in Germany. And I want to talk about the truth. Nuclear's fucking done. And I'm going to talk about the people of faith, the true Christians, the people that do not participate in usury. There are plenty of them out there, not here in the United States. The United States is land of the fake masquerading, marauding, murdering Christians, the crusaders from hell, the devils in hairsprays. They claim to be Christians, they are not Christians. I want to read this. I should have read this a long time ago. This is from a group of religious faith organization. I'll post the link right here. As they organized in Japan and issued this statement. I think this paragraph right here, as I tagged it, says everything you need to know about Fukushima. Everything. As one Buddhist priest observed, Fukushima has become a place where those suffering inflict pain on each other. Fukushima is crying out. The land and sky are weeping. Please listen to the voice of Fukushima. Please listen to the cries of the lives of the children who are silent. Moved to sober reflection by our experience of the effects of nuclear power and radiation contamination, we prayerfully reaffirm the sanctity of life and hereby issue this declaration. Those participating who also attended in 2011 the Third Asian Inter-Religious Conference of Article 9 in Okinawa noted some common elements uniting the suffering residents of Okinawa and Fukushima Prefecture, especially discrimination and the violation of human rights. These include the low priority placed on livelihoods of residents and the integrity of creation, the inadequate compensation offered to individuals and families injured by government and corporate decisions, the disruption of communities, and the relationship of nuclear power to nuclear weapons. We also perceive the collusion of government, military, business, and media to promote nuclear power and military bases as beneficial to human beings, which the experience of people in Okinawa and Fukushima contradicts. Our experience in Okinawa and Fukushima further emphasize anew that all life is sacred. I would like to add to that in Utah too, Nevada test site. Based on our research and experience, we conclude there is no safe use of nuclear power, no safe level exposure to radiation, and no compatible between nuclear power and life and peace. Nuclear weapons and nuclear power are two sides of the same coin, developed and promoted by a political, military, and economic complex for its own benefit. Government, the military, and business develop nuclear power for the purposes of war making without regard to life and integrity of all creation. Nations which have developed nuclear power but forsworn nuclear arms, disarmation, and the arrogance to believe that they can dominate nature and natural forces in country after country. The construction of nuclear power generated facilities, let alone the creation and maintenance of stockpiles of nuclear weapons, has consumed vast amounts of money, which could have been used to serve human needs. Damage for tens of thousands of years the environment. Cause death and disease among human beings, animals, and plants. Cause changes in human, animal, and plant DNA. Place populations at risk from nuclear attack by state and non-state actors. And arrogant to imperfect human beings' decisions that determine the life and death of human and natural communities. We are newly reminded that all humans make mistakes, but too often Those who benefit ignore or fail to learn from those mistakes. As people of faith, we commit to care for life, unreservedly, to protect all life, and to speak the truth and break down misleading myths about nuclear power and nuclear issues to our own communities. And with one voice to all people, we do so while alternatively and respectfully listen to those who suffer most directly the consequences of nuclear accidents. Indeed, we commit to stand with those who suffer, whether they may be, and act in unison with them to address the injustice done to them by denying the right to live in peace and justice. We further commit to monitor the movement of radioactive materials by governments and business, and to sound the alarm against passing on the problem of nuclear waste disposal, marginalizing communities, non-nuclear nations, and future generations. It says it all. It's beautiful. I can't believe I didn't find it before. You're not Christians here. Well, you're not any person of faith here in the United States. Joe, you people mega church, freaking pastors, you people, you Mormons or whatever, you preach freaking negativity and you teach anti-freaking any ism faith, any true logical faith, any true life experience from the pulpit as kill. You are asymmetric. You are devils in hairspray, masquerading, mass murdering marauders. That's what the Mormons are. That's what the evangelicals are. That's what all of America is. All of you in the aggregate. You are not. There are plenty of people. And I want to talk about the truth about nuclear. I see people come from me from Germany. I was involved. I was a consultant with the German government when they decided to take their nuclear reactors off. They've done it. They've done it. And I will post this, what Angela Merkel said. Also, right here, I want to read this. So don't twist, oh, we're going to import nuclear power from other countries. Bullshit. It's not true. This is a process. It takes time to decommission these things, and it takes much, much less money, as Germany has proven it. Following the March 2011 Fukushima nuclear disaster, Germany was permanently shut down 8 of its reactors and pledged to close the rest by 2022. The Italians have voted overwhelmed to keep their country non-nuclear. Switzerland and Spain have banned the construction of new reactors. Japan's prime minister has called for dramatic reduction in Japan's reliance on nuclear power. Yeah, I know, you're going to say that was the old prime minister, but their people have spoken. I mean, it's just GE and Westinghouse. Taiwan's president did the same. Mexico has sidelined construction of 10 reactors in favor of developing natural gas-fired plants. Belgium is considering phasing out its nuclear plants, perhaps as early as 2015. As of November 2011, countries as Australia, Austria, Denmark, Greece, Ireland, Italy, Latvia, Liechtenstein, Luxembourg, Malta, Portugal, Israel, Malaysia, New Zealand, and Norway have no nuclear power plants and remain opposed to nuclear power. However, by contrast, some countries remain in favor of financial support nuclear fission research, including EU-wide funded of the ITER project. On May 30, 2011, Germany formally announced plans to abandon nuclear energy complete with 11 years. That plan included the immediate permanent closure of 6 nuclear power plants and had temporarily shut down for testing in March 2011, and 2 more that have been offline for years with technical problems. The remaining 9 plants will be shut down between now and 2022. The announcement was first made by Norbert Rothgon, head of the Federal Ministry of Environment, Natural Conservation, and Nuclear Safety, after late-night talks. Chancellor Angela Merkel said the phasing out of plants previously scheduled to go offline as late as 2036 would give Germany a competitive advantage in the renewable energy era. Starting as the first big industrial nation, we can achieve such a transformation toward efficiency and renewable energies with all opportunities that bring for exports, develop new technology and jobs. Merkel also pointed to Japan's helplessness, despite being an industrialized, technology-advanced nation in the face of a nuclear disaster. There is no answers. If TEFCO doesn't prove it, and in the United States we've gone all in nuclear. And I want to talk to this is for Thomas Ackerman. I want to talk about how publishing literature has been kidnapped. As has been said for years, literature only changes things around the edges. Literature changes things at the core. As the 9/11, what was 9/11? What was it? Simply Muhammad Atta read Tom Clancy's novel. Well, that's all it was. That's simply, and people take advantage of situations, manipulate, twist. As Obama has went all in nuclear, as EPA, Gina McCarthy, Radnef Feld. Remember this, Obama has signed the very thing that he vetoed, his first action in office. He put a line through reducing the The legal limit is from 1 in 10,000 to 1 in 23, the cancer rates legally. Remember, this is the attorney in him. He's getting ready for mitigation. There's no doubt. He signed it, the very thing he did. They increased the legal amounts of radiation in the atmosphere 27,000 times. Why? That's the attorney. They're preparing for mitigation. He's seen the same studies I've seen. I have the Cal Berkeley hard draft. I have it. I've had it for over a year. I have it in my possession. I've been arguing with them, put it out, put it out. They get under pressure, showing plutonium. He knows, as RadNet did not work. RadNet, people don't even know what RadNet was. Gina McCarthy was head of RadNet. That's a radiation detective network in the United States. The radiation detective network we spent billions on just magically failed when Fukushima happened. So she, and I'm speaking from the Inspector General's report who went off on Gina McCarthy. I mean, it's a scaling report. She gets rewarded for failure. She's the head of the new EPA. And right as she's the head of the new EPA, not only that, Ann Ernest, the new energy secretary, they're pro-nuclear, the rest of the world is gone with nuclear. There's these beautiful, smart minds in these communities all over Europe, all over the world said no to nuclear a long time ago. And even if Germany, as they tried to compete in industry, have said no. And people try to twist, oh, we're just importing nuclear energy. That's bullshit. Over time, yeah, Switzerland. Let's talk about the G8, the industrial G8, the original G8. Germany says, fuck nuclear, no more. Switzerland's saying it. You know, just because we make mistakes in the past does not mean we cannot try to fix it. Now, nuclear fallout in the atmosphere, that's the only one you cannot fix. Prepare for cancer, as this will kill so many people. This is the attorney. As Malcolm Gladwell, supposedly the great writer, I told somebody a long time ago, I was in Manhattan, he said, let's go over and see me. I said, I'll spit in his face. Outliners is the most pathetic written book I ever seen. None of those oligarchs. Then it was exposed by the brilliant group who's been working at that. He's been funded by Philip Morris from day one. That's who we are in America. Just like the freaking Google search engines replaces Eric Lax and his partners report over and over. They time it. Every time there's a report, as Janet broke ranks at Cal Berkeley and produced her work showing 28% increase in children's thyroids, which is dramatic because that's bigger than Chernobyl first 2 years. This tells the hotel, when Obama, 27th signs that he knows. He knows. He's seen the same things that I've seen. He knows they can only hide him so long. And speaking of the religious leaders,